The Congress, under the Articles of Confederation, was not all that successful. But one thing they did accomplish of great importance was in land policy. Within the area that became known in 1787 as the Northwest Territory, after the Northwest Ordinance, there had been a policy set up even a couple of years before that called the Land Ordinance of 1785. Now, they divided land in ways that still affect this part of the country today. This part meaning the states of the old Northwest Territory, which would be Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin. 640 acres, or 1 square mile, became a section. And then 36 sections, that would be an area of 6 miles by 6 miles, were called a township. Now, the decision was that one section in each township would be used for public education. That means the proceeds, the money gained from this area would be used for public schools as the areas became populated. So early in American history, there is a commitment to public education and a belief that this was essential to democracy. There was no stronger supporter of this than Thomas Jefferson. The townships were organized like this. The section 16 of each township was designated for school use, as we just discussed. And there were 4 other sections here that were reserved for the United States, and other sections were sold. Now, in order to set things up like this, you needed to have a starting point. Now, this is a surveyor by the name of Burt who was responsible for implementing this in Michigan. And he set up what was called a meridian, a north and south line, which was the starting point, and then an east and west line, which was known as a baseline. Hence the term baseline road, also known as 8 Mile Road. And you would start from this baseline, and then you would divide the land into townships, and the townships into sections. As the land became populated, these surveys would be done, and this became the basis for dividing up land and selling it to the public. This is the line in Michigan that you see here, and there's also another line that became the boundary between Indiana and Ohio. I can show you how this works with regard to one Michigan county, Oakland County, which is a rectangle. It makes it easy to demonstrate this. You can see that each of these large squares is a township, and then divided up into sections. So, for example, here you have Southfield Township, which was called that until around 1960 or so. And then, of course, most of it became the city of Southfield. In the same way, Farmington Township included the city of Farmington early on, and then the rest became the city of Farmington Hills. Similar process with Novi Township. As the land became populated, this is a later map from 1872, after there had been substantial population. As the land became populated, these lands were sold. Now, there's a progression here. In 1796, in order to buy any of this land, you had to buy 640 acres at a minimum, at a cost of $2 an acre, for a total price of $1,280. Now, that was a lot of money then, and most people couldn't do it, so that gave an advantage to land speculators, those who could afford to buy large amounts of land and then resell them. By 1804, under the Jefferson presidency, the minimum number of acres that was sold was 160, and that meant the investment was only $320, making it more available to more people. And then during the Jackson administration in 1832, you could buy 40 acres of land at $1.25 an acre. So for $50, which even then was pretty affordable, you could actually buy a farm. And there are plenty of farms in Michigan today that are 40 acres, and some that are 160 acres or 320 acres, based on this original system. And you can see the effect of this is to democratize the distribution of land, to make it more accessible to the average person. Now, Jefferson had an interesting plan for expansion westward. He created these fictitious states, and which is kind of fun to look at here. The state of Metropotamia, or the state of Saratoga, for example. Of course, we know that after the Northwest Ordinance, it was made clear that there would be no fewer than 3, but no more than 5 states in this whole area north of the Ohio River and west of the Appalachian Mountains, west of the western boundary of Pennsylvania. So the result was the states of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Now, these are the dates in which each of these became states. The boundary, part of Minnesota was included in this territory, but basically the 5 states that became states from the old Northwest Territory were, the first was Ohio in 1803, then Indiana, then Illinois, Michigan not till 1837, and Wisconsin not till 1848, and Minnesota 10 years after that. Now,